Make sure you always surround yourself with inspiring stuff. Usually it's in nature for me, and there's other things too. Art is very inspiring. But hey everybody, welcome to Voluntary Living, where we are building a world based on consent, self-ownership, and freedom with me, David James Rodriguez. That was Crystal Springs Creek, I believe it's called, here in NorCal. And I wanted to share with some of you ideas that are changing the world, mainly voluntary relationships. And people starting to realize that if it's a coercive relationship, they don't want to be involved. So understand that there's major events happening, like the event in England, the People's Reset, the end of September, with an amazing cast talking about solutions using the exit and build strategies. And that's what's going on. So thanks for joining us. I just want to make a quick video so I could show the waterfall right there. And that was basically it, because what else are you going to do? Be connected to the corporate news all the time and listen to what they got going on? It doesn't matter what they got going on. That's mind control. What matters is that what you and I do. That's what matters. And by using our words and our actions, we can make a big difference in the world. And that's what the whole exit and build strategy is about, is leaving the systems behind that we don't like and we don't want to support, by not giving them our money, our children, our attention, our space in our brain, the thought patterns in our brain, and build. And I know that's a bigger mountain to climb, but it's a worthy one. And that's what's very exciting, what's happening on the planet right now, is people are starting to notice. And I do want to mention that Derek Bros mentioned the great inversion. And from what I understand, taking the awakening process and try to fold people back into the left-right paradigm of statism. And I think it's a great point. I think David Icke said something about that too. So be aware that, yes, the red pill stuff is coming out and people are finding truths in the medical systems and the educational systems and media systems, but if you don't leave the left-right paradigm behind, you're still a slave. And that's what they want, is to get us back into believing that some hero or savior is going to come rescue us. And even if Donald Trump's ear was shot through and a miracle occurred, he's still not going to save you and me. He's not the guy in charge. Politicians are puppets, and they get the ooh, big old fly. They get the ring of power, and then they get to dish out all this money. So statism is coming to an end. So don't let what's going on fold you back into their games and their tricks, because the great self-ownership awakening is now. And I want to be clear about that term, the great self-ownership awakening. Not just the great awakening. Awakening to what? What, that we've been lied to by all these major organizations for the majority of our lives? And if you went to public school like me, they stole 12 years of your life for their programming. I mean, it is insane. I'm still processing the ramifications of a schooling system that forces attendance and forces curriculum. It's just diabolical. It's just unacceptable and unbelievable. But it's happened, and it's here in every tiny little city on Earth, or at least in the U.S. at least. But now we are evolving towards a voluntary world, with voluntary relationships with people on consensual basis. This is the most exciting idea, because it's so basic and it's equal for all. It's a win-win for all. Nobody has authority over you unless you consent. So consider these ideas. If you're following this channel, you might know about them already, but it's about articulating them and getting clear on them, because more people need to learn about this. We need thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of teachers speaking about these concepts, because the powers out there want you to give them your mind and your money and your children for another few generations. I mean, I think 150 years, 200 years of mental enslavement is pretty good. You know, time to move on. Wouldn't you guys agree? So just be aware events are happening. Go to these freedom events. Go to these places where people are gathering, and freedom artists, musicians are rising, and painters and poets and comedians even, you know. We're getting the word out, we're getting the message out, and we need everybody to get involved if you want to get involved. Okay, humanity is in deep trouble. We've been asleep at the wheel for many centuries, at least a few generations, isn't it true? So thanks for joining me here on Voluntary Living. I hope you join me in England at the end of September, or the next event, wherever I might be. And if you know of some good events that are going on, put them in the comments below and start some events. Start something local, because we're starting to see statism collapse, and no need to rebuild it back up with the great inversion. Just exit and build, and be a leader in your own world. I'm sure you are already. Start building community, build independent food, water, energy, entertainment, art as best you can. Thank you for joining me on Voluntary Living. We are building a world based on consent, self-ownership, and freedom.